First of all, the Carter Center left Guyana obviously because of the initial recount process being stalled and because also of COVID-19, but you're trying to get back for the recount process, correct?
Yes, that's correct. We very much hope that we will be able to have some observers return to Guyana as soon as possible.
Do you have an idea of how many you're trying to bring to Guyana back again?
Uh, we have two confirmed observers who are ready to go and are getting their COVID-19 tests done, I think on Monday. So those two for sure. It's possible that we could try to have additional observers travel, but there's a team of two that is essentially ready to go next week.
Are you able to tell me who they are?
I can say that they were both members of our observation mission in March. I'll leave it at that for now, but there are people who were already there, accredited, and quite familiar with the election process.
Obviously, Dr. Carroll, you have been involved in trying to develop the Carter Center's standards for elections observations. Could you tell me some of those that were involved in the observation of the Guyana elections on March 2nd?
Well, we conduct all of our missions essentially according to the key guidelines that have existed for quite a while now. We come only at the invitation of the appropriate government authorities with accreditation, with a clear code of conduct about how we do our work, and we're certainly mindful of not crossing a line beyond what an observer should do. We know that it's important to try to understand as best we can the process and the stakeholders involved, and so that often generally will involve quite a bit of interaction with stakeholders to understand their roles and how they're going about them. But we're very clear that the role of an observer is to watch and to report. And that's basically, those are our two guiding directives: to watch, report, and to always be independent and impartial.
Dr. Carroll, you started with the Carter Center in 1991, if the information there on the center's website is correct, looking at the Caribbean and Latin America. I wondered if you were at all involved in the 1992 elections in Guyana.
I am very fond of Guyana because my very, very first assignment when I joined the Carter Center in 1991 was to work on Guyana. And my very first international travel as part of the Carter Center was to go to Guyana in 1991. And so I've been traveling to Guyana off and on many, many times over the years. I feel like I know the country relatively well, and I understand its elections and its politics. Certainly not as good as a Guyanese, but I have some familiarity with it.
So then, if I can ask you a very obvious question, why is Guyana so important to the Carter Center, given what its role in 1992?
I would say it's important to us evolved over time. I mean, there's many places that we have worked in over the years, and some we've stayed engaged over the years, have returned, and many others we haven't. But I think it's fair to say that Guyana captured a place in the imagination and hearts of many people at the Carter Center who, for maybe reasons that Guyanese will appreciate better than others, became a place that we just felt some kind of a bond and an attraction to, as a place that we had became involved with at a critical moment and saw that we might be able to be helpful as an outside organization that is committed to democracy and human rights, transparency, the rule of law. And the well-being of Guyana has become something that we care about. And so we've stayed engaged. We've done a lot of work in Guyana over the years.
Now, Dr. Carroll, you mentioned it's just two observers so far trying to get back to Guyana. What sort of impact could their presence have?
I think, what we know from international election observation and election observation generally is that observers can help um, there be a sense of confidence about the transparency of the process. Because we are independent, because we don't have a political objective in mind, we really only care about attesting to the quality of the process as we see it, knowing that we have no formal role or power. Our role is, again, to observe and to report transparently what we see. And I think that as an organization, we have earned a great deal of credibility over the years in doing that work professionally and seriously and with respect. Um, and so I think, because the recount will be happening at one place with a limited number of stations, 2 observers may not sound like much, and it's certainly ideally we would have more, but these are difficult circumstances right now. Getting 2 people into Guyana is proving to be extremely difficult. So getting more is an even bigger challenge.
Dr. Carroll, is there any other way of the Carter Center monitoring the elections, even if those observers are not allowed to come in back or they don't get to come in back?
That's a good question. I don't know what we would do if we were not able to get back in terms of any other way to observe it without it being live streamed or other ways that we could have easy access to really watch the whole process in a meaningful way. I think it would be very difficult to replace the option of being there physically.
Has the live stream helped in any way thus far? Have you been actually using it or no?
No, a couple of colleagues were looking at it, but I think they're. I should check with them before I say anything more about assessing it. But I think it would not be. Let me just say that it would be much more preferable to be able to be there in person.
Now, finally, Dr. Carter, if you can just tell me, finally, why are international observers like yourself important to elections, not just in Guyana, but all around the world?
Well, as I said, I think the fact that we are there as an independent actor who has no stake in any particular outcome, but really is there to help ensure that there's a sense of transparency about the process, and it can be seen as one that has credibility because actors like us who don't have a political objective or goal in mind are there to report on what we see.
Well, thank you very much for your time.